For the last couple of days, I have been taking one-on-one calls, and I've been hearing the same thing. I think it's so funny how everybody's situation is different, but everybody's kind of like going through the exact same thing, okay? Meaning like the circumstances are different, but the route that they're on with God is exactly the same. And a lot of people are struggling with waiting on God, And I'll be the first person to say that waiting on God is hard, but it is like one of the best things that you want to master in your relationship with God. Now, because I've grown in my relationship with God, I understand that God will still communicate with you while you're waiting on Him. So sometimes it's not just complete silence. But most people do not understand that God is a God of instruction. If God is giving you instructions on what to do so that, your marriage can be restored, then you need to do that, okay? Because you have to understand when you obey the first instruction, that's when you get insight or revelation or even breakthrough that you didn't even expect just by you obeying that first instructions. Obedience devotes God to you. God is obligated to move. That means that there is no no, there is no what if, there is no maybe. When you do exactly what God is asking you to do, then He is devoted to completing what He can do on His end. But it's like, well, Raven, I've already done everything that God has asked me to do, and there still is no change. You don't know that because you're not God. You don't know. You're just looking at what the devil is showing you in the natural. You're just focused on what the enemy is trying to bring to your mind about the circumstances and all of those things. Your mind is under attack. Your emotions is under attack, and you don't recognize it because you're still holding on to things that you have not let go of. See, what the devil does is Satan uses what's already there. So if you are still broken, heartbroken, if you are still not over the abandonment, if you're still not over things, then that's the reason why all these thoughts are coming to your mind, because you have not fully healed from those things. A lack of healing will literally cause you to be in a cycle when the person comes back. You see what I'm saying? Transformation needs to happen within you. And you can't say, well, I've already arrived and I'm ready, because you're not God. You have no idea what you have to face 3 months from now, 6 months from now. God is preparing you for what He knows is on the other side. And you just have to trust the Lord. If you do not know what to do, ask the Lord. Ask God, what is it that you want me to do? If God says be still, then be still. If God says prepare, then prepare. On the opposite spectrum, this is where God is devoted to do what He promised you. But you have to get out of your mind. You have to stop thinking like you know everything. You don't know everything. I hear a lot of women say, well, I know my husband. Guess what? He's a different person right now. All right. He is a different person right now. You do not know this man. Okay. You don't know this man. All right. You have to understand that people come in layers. There are layers to a person. When you marry somebody, they're not going to stay the same. There's another layer of them that you don't even know that's there. And you got layers to yourself that they didn't even know that's there. Okay. But the entire thing of waiting is doing what God is asking you to do. Okay. Think about Esther. Esther had to go through such a process before she had to go to the king. Understand that there was a waiting period before she went to the king. Her process, God was preparing her. It might not be preparation for you. It could literally be healing. It could be God literally walking you through a lot of mental things that you're dealing with. All right. Ultimately, God is not going to fail you. If God is providing instructions, okay? If the Lord is providing instructions, I hear people say this all the time. Well, I've done everything and nothing happened. That means that you're trying to perform. Obedience is not about performance. Obedience is about obeying God because I love God. Jesus said, if you love me, you obey my commands. So it's not a job where you're punching the clock. You're obeying God because you love the Lord. Does that make sense? So I don't want you to feel like, well, I got everything. I prayed the prayers. No, you are literally obeying God because you love God. The reward is what he promised you. So if you're a person where you feel like giving up because nothing's happening, we need to check your heart posture. Are you trying to perform? Because this is not a job, all right? This is not a job. This is not something where you punch the clock, okay? And don't be upset because God reveals things to heal us, to show us, to change. I promise you, I used to be the same way, but I've learned to fall in love with God and fall in love with pleasing the Lord, and then I would not idolize the promise, because a lot of times if you're trying to perform, then you're going to idolize the promise, and that will be a God to you, and you'll be going through the same thing over and over again, okay? So I pray that this video has blessed you. Understand that God is a God of instructions. Do what the Lord is asking you to do. Okay, obey God, and then let God do his part. If you've done what God says do and you're waiting on him to make a move, go do something with yourself. Okay, go do something. Waiting on God is not where you just sitting around in a waiting room searching, looking out the window, looking at the phone. No, waiting on God is like, okay, I did what you wanted me to do. Now I'm going to focus on something else that's in alignment with your will. Okay, and trust that you're going to do your part. That is what waiting on God is like. Okay, I pray that this video has blessed you. I have seen all your emails. I have seen all the messages. I was on a little breaky break, okay? So I want you guys to know that the Severing Her Influence ebook bundle and the Words That Bring Him Home, the discount, it's going to be over on Monday. Okay, I've seen a lot of you guys wanting it, but you got to get the money together. You desire it. Cool. That will be available till Monday. You have all of this weekend to go ahead and get it, and Monday being the last day. So if you don't know, I have 2 ebook bundles called Severing Her Influence. That is if your spouse is with another woman and you don't know how to pray, because it's biblical to ask God to uproot that. That is discounted until Monday. Very affordable. And I have Words That Bring Him Home, declarations to speak over your spouse. Okay, declarations to speak over your spouse while you are standing and believing. Yes, you still want to pray when you're waiting. You still want to decree and speak things. I am a living witness that this works. Okay, I would never tell you something that don't work. Decreeing the word is biblical and it works. Okay, all of that is in the link in my bio. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.